So what do I think about this tumbler? Well, it does produce the cleanest brass I've ever seen with any method. But it's not all pros.
Did you get it?
Yep.
Good job. What the heck's in there?
Oh, this thing.
Oh my gosh, that's big. I didn't expect it to be that big. It's heavy too.
Hold on a second.
What else do we got?
This.
All right, got a bunch of stuff in there.
And this big wheel thing.
Wheels thing? Let's pull that out. Oh, why don't you get up this? Take
Okay.
that. Take this.
There's so many of these. Boom, boom,
It's a
whoa.
big machine. All right, and some instructions.
Okay.
All right.
We open the big magnet now. I'm actually good at using knives.
All right, you gotta be very careful. Don't cut towards yourself. Watch your foot.
Whoa.
What is it?
Okay, so this is the magnet.
So,
That's soap.
and we got a lid. And what's inside of here?
I don't know.
Well, I'll tell you, it's about 5 pounds of little teeny steel pins.
Media.
Yeah, tumbling media.
Let's see if it'll work.
Shall we make a huge mess and see if we can clean it up with the magnet?
Yeah.
Yeah! So that would be really hard to pick those up, wouldn't it?
Yep.
Oh my gosh! Not hard with that.
I don't think we can use it with this magnet.
Oh, look at those. Okay, now here's what you do. We'll put them in the bucket. So you
Okay.
pick it up and you move it over here over the bucket, and you pull this.
Oh, that's awesome.
And
Can I
then
try?
put it-
It's like a big vacuum that can shoot them out. Come on, little ducky.
in here.
Uh-uh.
We got some deprimed 308.
Here we go. Look it.
Yeah, you want to dump all that in? I bet that'll all fit too. We got a really big drum. It says it can take 30 pounds. Take it. Probably 400 or 500 9mm. Let's put some water in.
Oh, water.
It says to fill it up to the bottom of here, so we'll put more in.
You might spill a little bit.
All right, so this time we'll put in their soap, and then later we'll try this soap. I think there's just one. It's just so you can try it, so you buy it. Okay,
This is better.
that's to drain it.
No,
It's
what
like a strainer. Good. All right, so we put it on here, like this.
Oh.
Sits on those wheels.
Oh. That's
Okay.
what this is for. Oh, then it spins it around.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Do you want to turn the knob?
Okay, what do I turn this on to?
Well, how long do you think we should try? Maybe 2 hours and see how it looks?
Sure. Do I like spin it all the
Yes. Yep.
way?
Spin
Really
it.
fast?
Yep. What you doing, bud? What's that? You're watching it? Does twisting the flashlight help? Looks like a washing machine in there, doesn't it? Let's see if that's fine enough to catch the pins. Quite a bit of foam in there. Some pretty incredibly dirty water. ultrasonics. I have never seen brass that clean. This magnet's definitely worthwhile. Snaps the pins up. I don't know if I'd buy this thing without it. Out of my bucket water here. I have all the pins right here. So the brass came out really clean. Now I'm just sorting it. This 308 is my match brass, so I sort by lot. So I made sure not to do more than one lot of each head stamp so it would be easy to sort. There are some pins in the brass, particularly in the 308, although I find a quick shake, just like that, a couple pins came out there, will dump the pins once the brass is dry. And that's not too much of a pain to do when I'm checking the head stamps anyway. Now in terms of the 9mm, unless a pin's jammed in there, it can easily be seen inside the case, and it'll mostly fall out, or a pass of the magnet over the open mouth will actually pull the pins right out of the 9mm. So you just need to make sure nothing's jammed or stuck, but I really haven't found any like that.
I wanted to try to show you the difference between different methods of case cleaning. Now all this brass has been fired at least 6 times and has been cleaned each time in an ultrasonic. Now the ultrasonic does a great job of removing the lead and powder residue from the outside, but it doesn't polish at all. So the tarnish builds up each time until it actually even starts to feel rough compared with these other cases. And that's going to affect the lubricity and possibly the function. It does take quite a few times through the gun to accomplish that though. On the inside it does a fair job, but does leave a little bit of residue, and that builds over time with each subsequent firing. Now this case was more traditionally cleaned in a dry media tumbler. As you can see, it does a fair job of polishing. It is a little lighter in color than the wet tumbled case, however is maybe slightly less even with a little bit of tarnishing done. Really does a fantastic job there. I suspect, however, that this would be better if it were run a little longer or in a smaller lot, and will probably get better with subsequent runs. I ran quite a full load for 2 hours, and it was the first time through with a case that started out looking like this. But at any rate, the dry tumbler does a great job of polishing the outside. The inside, however, is not cleaned at all. It looks like it might as well not be a cleaned case. And that does build up over time and can affect performance. Now this case was the case tumbled in the wet tumbler, and it's extremely even in color, more even than any of them. Not quite as light colored as this one, but again I think that'll improve with subsequent uses. And the inside looks absolutely sparkling clean. Now on the 308 cases that I deprimed before I tumbled, even the primer pocket looks like that. So very, very clean inside and out. Now the other advantage of this kind of tumbling is the containment of the lead. Now dry tumbling puts a lot of lead dust into the air, and it's been theorized by more than one that this is the #1 source of lead exposure in reloaders, because this is a induction method where it easily gets into your system. Now this is not a problem with ultrasonic or wet tumbling. So one solution has been to clean in an ultrasonic and then polish in a dry tumbler. And that's going to work very, very well. You're going to end up with this outside and this inside, but ultimately this is still better. So you're outside and inside with one cleaning. So what do I think about this tumbler? Well, it does produce the cleanest brass I've ever seen with any method. It gives a superior clean and polish inside and out, and even cleans the primer pockets. But it's not all pros. First, at around $200 for the tumbler and the magnet, it's more expensive than many popular vibratory tumblers and ultrasonics. It's also more work. Most of that extra work is associated with separating and handling these tiny stainless steel pins. Now, that can be mitigated with the use of this magnet, which I really think is mandatory, and also with these $2 paint filters, which really help separate the pins from the dirty water. But we still have the problem of separating the pins from the brass. And that's very important, as one of these little stainless steel pins left in the brass case and fired could really do some serious damage to a barrel. Now, an enclosed rotary media separator could really help in that, but realistically it's still going to be more work than other methods. Another thing that can possibly mitigate that work is the size of this unit. With a 30-pound capacity, we have about 14 pounds in the water, the pins, and the drum itself, leaving 11 pounds of brass. And that's a lot. We're talking about 13 or 1400 9mm, about 1000 223, and 300 or 400 308. Now, by the time we get into 308 and larger, it's the volume that's a limiting factor, not the weight. In fairness, there are rotary dry tumblers, vibratory tumblers, and ultrasonics that are that big. But once they get to that size, they also start to approach this price point. Other advantages are that this media doesn't wear out, collect lead, or dirt. Lasts forever. You only have to replace it if you lose it. Which brings us to another point. There are drums, media, end caps, and other spare parts available. And Frankford Arsenal being a relatively large company, it's likely that they're going to be available for a long time to come. The bottom line is if you're looking for a way to get your brass cleaner and you go through enough brass to take advantage of the capacity of this unit, then this rotary tumbler could really fit the bill.